And we are live, and welcome guys to my NXT TakeOver War Games predictions video. Of course, I am Robbie One Kenobi, and joining me today, I have, of course, one of my fellow Horseman brothers. You may have seen him last night, or you may have seen me last night on his channel doing NXT live review of last night's episode. So as a little thank you for having me on, I decided to have him on for TakeOver War Games predictions, and I'm talking about none other than Mike, aka DaClubofDaMan1993. Mike, thank you again for joining me. And like I was saying, didn't we just do this like a few hours ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did, Robbie. But once again, thank you for having me on. It's always good chatting wrestling with you, and I look forward to talking about War Games as well.
Yep, definitely. So NXT TakeOver War Games is this Saturday night live on the WWE Network from Houston, Texas. And overall, Mike, I got to say I'm very excited for this show. I feel like with all this proper build and hype, that TakeOver War Games feels more like Survivor Series than Survivor Series actually feels like Survivor Series. What are your thoughts going into the show?
Yeah, I agree to it. I definitely, of course, have higher hopes for War Games. I'm not at all afraid to think high for a TakeOver specials. I believe this is going to be another show to tear the house down. And we'll see what happens. Like you said, it's half the time it feels like that TakeOver is more important than the main roster pay-per-view when it's the big four round. But I mean, I feel like if Survivor Series can, put on a good show this year, they could have a good shot at trying to, outdo each other pretty much. But I'm definitely really excited about War Games this Saturday. And also have to experience my first ever War Games match as well.
Yeah, definitely. The War Games match is the big marquee match of this event. But of course, we do have a strong card. So without any further ado, let's get right down to our predictions. We're going to start off with something a little different. We're going to start off with the dark match, which is going to actually air this coming Wednesday on NXT TV. Mike and I were talking about this last night during his NXT review. We really wish this match would be on TakeOver War Games, but still, this is going to be a hell of a match. For the United Kingdom Championship, we have Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, defending the title against Johnny Gargano. And like I said, this is going to be a show stealer, no doubt. It'll most likely be the main event of Wednesday's NXT TakeOver, NXT TakeOver follow-up episode, whatever you want to call it, like post-show. But I'm just really excited for this match. A hard-hitting Bruiserweight versus Johnny Wrestling. You couldn't ask for anything better. But when it comes down to it, I'm picking Pete Dunne to retain the United Kingdom Championship. Mike, what are your thoughts about this match? And what are your thoughts about this match and prediction?
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Both Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano are both great talents. They both always tend to put on match of the year candidates whenever they face their opponents. They tend to, bring out the best in their opponents as well. With the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne and the more, high-flying style of Johnny Gargano as well. I think they're going to put on a really good match, a possible match of the year candidate, I feel. But I agree with you. Probably Pete Dunne's probably going to retain the title here. I do wonder that they're going to play some role in this, leading to what's next for Johnny Gargano as well, keeping him, in that whole post-DIY era as well. So, I mean, who knows what could happen, but I think it's still going to be an excellent match for next week's main event. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask you real quick. Do you think we may see Tommaso Ciampa return? What do you think is going to play into this match post-DIY that might still affect or bother Johnny Gargano in this match? Do you think we're going to get Ciampa, or do you think they're saving that for, maybe the end of the year?
I mean, that's a really good question. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Ciampa, but I'm not sure if they're going to go with it. I mean, they still possibly could if he wants to take away an opportunity for Gargano. I'm sure they're going to have us convinced sometime in that match that Gargano could have won the match somehow. I mean, it's just how I feel it's going to be. But if it's not Tommaso Ciampa, I'm just wondering who else it could possibly be.
Yeah, because like we were saying yesterday, the unfortunate thing is that Ciampa got injured, so you can't really keep this feud going right now, and you got to wonder what else they're going to do with Johnny Gargano until Ciampa returns. But so it's gonna be interesting to see. Maybe Pete Dunne will beat him clean, because he did beat Tyler Bate clean. He beat Wolfgang, I believe he defended the title against recently. Yeah, he beat Wolfgang clean. So it's not like Pete Dunne needs a cheap tactic to win. He can beat Johnny Gargano clean. It's gonna be interesting. I'm interested in seeing what happens with Johnny Gargano. I want to see continues to doubt himself, if he thinks he doesn't have it anymore. It's going to be interesting. And it's going to lead to what I think is going to be one of the best matches of the year on an NXT television, NXT television taping nonetheless.
Oh, yes.
All right. So moving on to the main card, we have our first match is Kassius Ohno versus Lars Sullivan. I think it's pretty straightforward here with how they're building Lars Sullivan that he's going to win this match. Like we were saying yesterday, Mike, Kassius Ohno is going to give him a fight. I would be surprised if Ohno got squashed or if he just got dominated for like 2-3 minutes. But I think he's going to give more of a fight to Lars Sullivan than anybody else has. But in the end, I think Lars Sullivan will walk out victorious. Your thoughts?
That's pretty much the same thing. Like I said, like I expected maybe to be like maybe a little bit longer, but kind of on the level as far as, you know, how Brock and Goldberg were at Mania this year. Just two big men going at it and putting on just a really solid big man match, but nothing like, you know, too quick and squash. As for the first time, Lars Sullivan is going to feel challenged because he's facing the knockout artist in Kassius Ohno. And yes, I think Lars Sullivan should win this, as I think, you know, Kassius Ohno will be okay. He can take this loss right here. I'm just glad also we're getting Kassius Ohno on a pay-per-view because he hasn't really had a singles match yet on pay-per-view since returning to NXT earlier this year.
Yeah, he's only had one takeover match, which was that 8-person tag team match at Orlando, I believe, where it was him, Ty Dillinger, Roddy, and Ruby Riott against Sanity. They haven't really used. They've used Ohno on TV, but they haven't really had him on a takeover special. We thought he was going to fight Hideo Itami at Brooklyn. That's
right. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah. But I just want to ask you real quick, Mike. Do you think Kassius Ohno? How much longer do you think he'll be in NXT? Do you think they'll have something big planned for him after this, or do you think they might release him again? What are your thoughts on Kassius returning so far?
I mean, like, I've enjoyed it, but I just wish they would like go somewhere else with it. He's just been there, you know, picking up victories. He got an NXT title shot. Like, I don't know, maybe they feel that his days in NXT were numbered and they were going to bring him to the main roster. I wouldn't want them to release him though, because he's an excellent talent. I do enjoy him, but
no, I've enjoyed his work as Chris Hero, so that's why I think he's a really good talent, and hopefully they'll find something for him on NXT.
Yeah, I agree. Because I don't know if they would bring him to the main roster yet, but they just haven't really given them like that big of opportunities yet so far. So it does make me wonder though what's going to happen with him. I
don't think they should bring him up to the main roster yet. I think he should have on NXT, establish him as like a veteran, like one of the NXT veterans, because he was in NXT before, of course. We were mentioning it, but I just think for Ohno, maybe have him on the main roster for one more year. Maybe put him in a feud with No Way Jose, just because because he's just trying to deal with his frustration. So he goes after Jose, probably in a similar fashion as Austin Aries did.
Right.
And he has a more devastating elbow than Austin Aries.
Oh yeah, the Discus 5 arm.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise we're predicting Lars Sullivan will walk out victorious and remain undefeated.
Yep.
All right. Our next match is a very interesting match, and we were talking a lot about it during your review last night of NXT. And that is, of course, Aleister Black versus the Velveteen Dream. A very unique matchup with two very contrasting styles. You have Dark versus Light, or Dark versus Velveteen. You have Mysterious versus, Playboy. It's a very intriguing matchup. I honestly didn't think I'd be interested in this matchup, but I mean, the two workers in this match have made it work, especially Patrick Clark with this whole Velveteen Dream gimmick and how he's trying to get Aleister Black to say his name.
Say my name.
Yeah. Now, Mike, I know you're a little conflicted with this because you have, on one side, you want to see Aleister Black continue to win and build up momentum, but on the other side, you want to see the Velveteen Dream win. So, what's your prediction? How do you think this is going to play out?
Yeah, again, this one is very tough. I mean, especially too when this whole thing first started, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably just set up just a match for like, a taping down the line or whatnot. And I saw they're actually going to go with this for a pay-per-view match. I'm like, wait, really? I'm like, well, I mean, they tend to give like, the newer talent the chance to shine as well on TakeOver, so why not go for it? And yeah, I agree. And though I really enjoyed seeing Patrick Clark just develop more, and especially with like the matches he's had, like they've been like short squash match against like low card to jobber talent, but I do see the potential in him again. Like his styles with Aleister Black can clash together really well. Now, as I said last night, Aleister Black, I feel like he is pretty well established already. He's got victories over Almas, Kassius Ohno. He got one over Itami. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other as well. He's gotten victories over. So I feel like that he'd be okay with the loss here. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing him win to keep his momentum going. I feel like if he would like drop to the Dream right here, I'm sure they'll have a rematch somewhere down the line on like just a regular like taping or whatnot. He can get the win back there. But I think for TakeOver's sake, I think I would rather see the Velveteen Dream get a win here and you know, just to get some momentum going. If not, at least, you know, have like a strong show, looking like he had a chance to beat Aleister, you know?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I'm gonna go. My prediction will be that Aleister Black will win. Like, I do like the Velveteen Dream character. I gotta give it to Patrick Clark for getting me invested in this character because of how he pulls it off. Like I said, if he was on the main roster, his character would not be as intriguing as it is. Like, they wouldn't even utilize him properly. He'd probably just be losing. So yeah, I like how NXT has made this character very interesting, and you could say he's somewhat of a credible challenge for Aleister Black. In the end, I'm picking Aleister Black to win. I just feel like they're going to continue to push Aleister ultimately toward an NXT title shot against Drew McIntyre or whoever is the champion when that time finally comes. But yeah, as far as my prediction is concerned, I'm going to go with Aleister Black. I mean, I could see Velveteen Dream maybe pulling off one of the maybe a Fandango kind of upset where he just catches Black off guard with a roll up or a schoolboy or something that Black doesn't see. But other than that, I just see Aleister Black winning. And it's funny because I remember saying that I thought Hideo Itami was gonna beat Aleister Black at TakeOver Brooklyn because I thought if Hideo beat him, it wasn't gonna hurt him because Hideo was probably gonna do it in a cheap way where he would win, obviously, and he would believe that earned him respect or something. But in this case, I just see Aleister Black winning. And it's also interesting to note that Aleister Black has victories over 2/3 of the Undisputed Era.
That is true, yeah, because he beat both Fish and Cole and O'Reilly, right?
He beat Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, not Kylie O'Reilly. I know I botched that.
He said last night, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're picking Velveteen Dream. I'm picking Aleister Black. So that's the first prediction where we've had different predictions. The first match with different predictions. I'm gonna keep a little counter, see if we agree or let's see how many more times we agree than disagree.
Okay, let's go for it.
But yeah, all right. So next we have the Fatal 4-Way for the vacant NXT Women's Championship. This is a match that I'm personally very excited for because of the talent in this match. So we have Kairi Sane versus Ember Moon versus Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce. And this one is really hard to predict. I'm leaning toward one prediction, but Mike, because of how well built this match has been and how established everyone in this match is, it's any woman's ball game, like we were saying last night.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with you first. Give me your thoughts on everything leading into this match and who you think will win.
All right, so boy, yeah, this one is probably the toughest for me to predict.
Yeah,
you see, I can see all four of these having a chance to win. You know, Ember Moon could win this and finally get the title. You know, Kairi Sane, coming off from her great run in the Mae Young Classic, could pull off the victory as well. Peyton Royce, it's more of like the dark horse in this match. But I'm sure, at some point the iconic duo need to get something besides being just heels putting over newer talent. So I can definitely see her winning. Yeah. And Nikki Cross, with the momentum she's been gaining in different directions, she's gone as a character as well. I can see her winning as well. So here's what I bring it down to. I wouldn't mind seeing Kairi Sane winning it, but I feel like it might just be maybe a little bit too soon for it to happen. But if she does not win the match, I don't want her to be the one to get pinned.
Yeah.
Ember Moon, I wouldn't mind seeing win either. But the thing was if she wins, then what was the point of her just not winning the title off of Asuka at TakeOver Brooklyn 3, even though it was just show how strong Asuka is. Or Ember could win and eventually when it gets to the main roster reunite a few with them, or Ember could get a little bit of more of a cocky attitude, saying she's finally got what she wanted. Again, same thing with Peyton Royce, like, like I'm sure at some point, the Iconics do need to be rewarded in some ways rather than just getting this title shot. So I wouldn't mind seeing her get it. But I gotta still go with Nikki Cross. Like, she's the one that I feel like has the most interesting, character change and the different type of momentum going forward. Like, she's just heading into a different direction with her character, and it's just gotten me a lot more invested in her than I already was. And so I think she's going to be like, the one throwing a curveball here. And I'm going to predict Nikki Cross winning the NXT Women's Championship.
All right, so you're going with Nikki Cross. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on this match, and then I'm going to give you my prediction. As we've said, it's any woman's ball game. And right off the bat, when Kairi Sane was thrown into the Fatal 4-Way for winning the Mae Young Classic, right off the bat, I was thinking, okay, she's got to definitely be the one to win this match. You got to pick her as the odds-on favorite. But then, little by little, every week, the other three that advanced or qualified for this match have had somewhat of a turning point that could make them, that turning point that could really make them a favorite to win this match. Right. Ember Moon, she's had 2 title opportunities against Asuka, and she's come up short on both. Then Mercedes Martinez goes and makes the jab that she just keeps losing the big ones. She keeps dropping the ball when it comes to the big moments. And that's when I started thinking, what? Maybe Ember Moon's going to pull out all the stops to finally get that NXT Women's Championship. Nikki Cross has really slowly transitioned into a face, while the other members of Sanity have been dealing with Undisputed Era and Authors of Pain. And she's been gaining momentum. And then Peyton Royce, she's that dark horse, like you said. She has had multiple NXT Women's Championship shots, and she's never won any of them. She's actually had more shots than Billie Kay, which is very interesting. So this one, it's really hard for me to predict because, like, any of them can take it. And I'm just trying to think how this would all play out in the end. One idea that I threw your way was Ember Moon resorts to heel tactics to pin Kairi Sane or Nikki Cross to win the championship, and then, finally say that she has what she rightfully deserved a long time ago, and you can do a heel Ember Moon championship run, and then put her up against the likes of Kairi Sane and Nikki Cross, because you have pretty much long-term booking with this match. Whoever comes out the champion, you can pretty much the other 3 can become title contenders along the way. So the Ember Moon heel turn, I was originally going to go with that. I could see Nikki Cross winning, and then Ember Moon turning heel out of frustration, and you do a Nikki Cross Ember Moon feud, because I think they've only had one match, or they only cross paths in the Battle Royal, right? Where Ember got hurt. Pretty much,
yeah. I can't remember when they've had a one-on-one match. That would be a good fresh feud for the title.
That would, but then why? But then the thing I'm thinking about is why would they do Kairi Sane versus Peyton Royce again when they did Kairi Sane versus Billie Kay in the beginning? So
true.
What I'm thinking is, you don't want Kairi Sane to take the fall. So that means if Peyton Royce wins, she either has to pin Ember or Nikki, and vice versa for the other 2. This one's really hard for me to predict, dude. It's like I thought going in, I was gonna go with Ember Moon to win and turn heel in the process, and then maybe set up her and Kairi Sane, and then you do Nikki Cross. Maybe you could do Nikki Cross and Peyton Royce, or I don't know, maybe revisit Nikki Cross. Well, the thing is, if Nikki Cross wins, another feud you can do, and I mentioned this in your live review, is Nikki Cross versus Ruby Riott. Because in the beginning, they were always fighting and wanting to tear each other apart. And Ruby Riott hasn't really gotten an NXT title shot since Chicago. Well, not Chicago. No, after Chicago, she was in a triple threat elimination match, but she hasn't really had the best of luck with the title shots. So, as far as my prediction goes, and again, this one's hard because any one of these women could win, and I'm trying to think long term with my prediction. Okay, you know what? I know what I want to do. Give me 1 minute, Mike. Anything can happen when it's live.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to come up with a prediction starting now.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, I got a prediction.
Oh, gosh.
Like I said, originally I was going to go with Ember Moon to turn heel and win the title by either pinning Kairi Sane or Nikki Cross, and then going full-fledged heel and just, you know, developing an ego similar to Asuka and saying that she finally got what she deserved. But I'm going to go with a wild card prediction, and I'm going to pick Peyton Royce to capitalize on either Kairi Sane's elbow, Ember Moon's eclipse, or Nikki Cross's rolling neck breaker move. I forgot what it's called. I'm going to pick Peyton Royce to finally win the NXT Women's Championship.
That's cool.
It's a wild card prediction, but I'm going to go with it because I can see it finally happening. I can see Peyton Royce on her own actually winning the title, and then maybe you could do, like, I love the Iconic Duel, but maybe from this you can do a Billie Kay Peyton Royce NXT Women's Championship feud, given the fact that Peyton's had more title shots than Billie. Billie has not, you know, and then, you know, Billie can probably become jealous of Peyton Royce and the fact that Peyton did it on her own without Billie Kay in the match, and Billie Kay wants, you know, what she believes is hers. So I'm going to go with the wild card and pick Peyton, almost said Pilly, Peyton Royce. Peyton Royce to win the NXT Women's Championship.
Poison Ivy.
Poison freaking Ivy, yes. The one thing I'll always remember about last night's go-home show is when she came down the ramp, and I was like, damn, Ma, you fine.
Oh, gosh.
Next up, we have the NXT Championship match. Drew McIntyre defending against Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega in his corner. This should be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's safe to say, Mike, that well, actually, I was gonna say I think it's safe to say Drew McIntyre retains the championship here. But you, of course, had that great idea for a long-term story between Almas and Johnny Gargano if Andrade becomes the champion. So I'll start with you again, and give me your thoughts on everything going into this match and who you predict will win.
Yeah, I mean, the story is just pretty much simple. You know, Drew McIntyre wants to be a fighting champion and defend the title against anyone who wants to and step up and be a man, which is what Roderick Strong did. They put on a really great match on NXT about a month or two ago. And then, you know, Almas had been picking up momentum ever since he became more focused with having Zelina Vega by his side. And, you know, he wants a title shot. But, of course, McIntyre's like, you're all talk. Why don't you just get in the ring and do something about it and be a man? So he's getting this title opportunity, which I think has been well-deserved in coming with the long way that Almas has come. Again, I wouldn't be upset if McIntyre retains. I mean, him being champion has been fine. It's not been like, you know, big standout, like the best thing of the year, I'd say. But it's still, you know, a good story with him, you know, coming back to the WWE after not successful first run, getting his time in NXT, but just like seizing him out before he gets to the main roster. I think he'd be able to go up to the main roster by Royal Rumble, I think. But I still really like the idea that I have for going forward, though, and I gotta pick Almas winning the title here, because what I want to see happen is, as I've said plenty of times, is Almas wins the title, and then either McIntyre gets his rematch or he Bobby Roodes it and doesn't take his rematch and goes to the main roster or whatever. And then the next person who is built up to get that title opportunity is Johnny Gargano. And I'll give you credit for this idea, as you suggested last night. What if it's, you know, Johnny Gargano trying to overcome Andrade Cien Almas, as he has not been able to this past summer into this fall with the two matches they've had after Zelina Vega has, you know, torched him with the DIY t-shirt, just, you know, getting him thinking about things again. And he earns an opportunity to face Almas to, you know, get his victory over him once and for all and become the champion. And then, as you said, Robbie, have it be a stipulation where, you know, at this time, Gargano has all this doubt in him, and Almas has been the one who's been building up that doubt into him. Like, what if he says, I need to beat you or else screw it, you know, I'm out of here. I'm not meant to be here anymore or whatnot. So if Gargano lost the match, he would have to leave NXT. So that's what I would see happening at TakeOver Philadelphia. And then, again, if Gargano wins the title there, set up for him and Ciampa facing off at TakeOver New Orleans, because, as we keep saying, there's not going to be any match that's going to be able to top that one off. That's match of the night, like, no doubt about it. There's not even another match on the card yet. So that's why I'm still, again, I would be okay with Drew McIntyre retaining, but I really want to see Almas win the title. That way, that long-term booking story happens to lead to that big match at TakeOver New Orleans.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? I'm a little conflicted too with this because, you know, I wouldn't mind. I like how Drew McIntyre has been booked as NXT champion so far. He's doing much better things than when he was the Intercontinental champion, his first run here in WWE. But Andrade and Almas has really come a long way too. And I would love to see Andrade win the championship and then have that title versus career match with Johnny Gargano. But then you also got to consider that when Drew McIntyre won the championship, it was Adam Cole that jumped him. And that's the thing about NXT. You know, like you know. The Undisputed Era, right now, they've got their issues with Sanity and AOP, and we're going to talk about that War Games match in a few moments. But obviously, their intentions are clear. When they're done with this War Games match, they want the gold. So, of course, you would think the long-term plan is Drew McIntyre versus Adam Cole for the NXT championship. But then again, like, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say, Mike, is like there's two different ways you could go with this, and I'm totally fine with either one because NXT obviously, like when you look at it, these are backup plans. You have a plan A and a plan B. I would love to see the Andrade Cien Almas Johnny Gargano career title match, leading to Gargano winning the title, and then Ciampa. I think if it's done at TakeOver and Gargano beats Andrade for the championship, that's when Ciampa needs to return and spoil that moment big time.
Yes, definitely.
But as far as my prediction, okay, so you're picking Andrade to win, right?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as my prediction is concerned, and here's another case of where, like, I think right off the bat you'd say, yeah, McIntyre's gonna win. We don't see Andrade winning the championship. He could win the championship. Yes. You know, Andrade could win the championship because he hasn't lost since Zelina Vega has been in his corner. And I rarely recall an NXT title match ending in a disqualification where Andrade wins, but he doesn't win the championship. So here's another one that's kind of tough to predict because, like, I like both ideas. McIntyre versus Cole, because they jumped him a couple times after they first got into NXT, but then Andrade versus Gargano. Which one do you want to see more, you know?
Yeah, that's really tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, and I mean, like, Drew McIntyre, if he does lose the title, could they call him up right away to the main roster, or is that too soon, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Because, like, what if Andrade doesn't win the title here, but he does it on an NXT TV taping in, like, a big-time rematch?
Right, yeah, that's possible as well.
That is possible. I mean, it could happen. Andrade could win the championship at TakeOver. Because he is a good talent. He's not like some random guy they just gave a title shot to or a title push to, you know?
Right.
It's a tough one. I'm not going to play the Jeopardy timer again because I'm just going to give up prediction right now.
Gonna make it
I'm not going to play that. No, that was fun, though. That was fun. At least there was no awkward silence.
Right.
You know what? I think what's going to happen is Zelina Vega is going to have a plan that backfires. So I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre to retain the championship. I want to see Zelina Vega get on the top rope again and try some kind of crossbody or Hurricane Rana. I want to see that.
At all.
Yeah. But I'm going to pick Drew to retain.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, we have the main event, which should most likely be the main event. It is the marquee match of this TakeOver, War Games. It is Sanity versus the Undisputed Era versus Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain. This is going to be insane. I mean, you could have just done Sanity and Undisputed Era, but I have no problem with Roddy and AOP getting thrown into the mix because AOP do have some history with Sanity. They did a little long-term booking there because they lost the titles to Sanity at Brooklyn. And also, Undisputed Era put a beating on both teams after that match. So, got some history there. And I'm just looking for, Roddy, like I was saying yesterday, it's kind of random, Roddy getting thrown into the mix, but the link between him and the Undisputed Era is, of course, their days in ROH. Yes. So, as far as a winner, I think it's safe to say the Undisputed Era wins. And I think they need to win this match because remember all those times they were jumping guys, beating people up, and then that one night where they ran off and they're like, it's our NXT, it's our NXT. This is how you start that. You have them win the War Games match, and then from there, you know, NXT tag title shots, NXT championship shots. So yeah, I think it's safe to say Undisputed Era is winning this. They need to win this. They should win this because that's going to further establish them as a very dominant faction in NXT. The question I'd like to propose to you, Mike, before you give me your thoughts and your predictions, do you see Roderick Strong possibly defecting, possibly turning on the Authors of Pain and joining Undisputed Era?
I do think it's possible. I'm not 100% certain it will happen, but I do have that in the back of my mind thinking that is a possibility. It could happen. I'm not going to definitely say it's not going to happen. I'm not going to say it definitely will, but I think that is possible to happen as well. But yeah, as far as my prediction, it's got to be Undisputed Era. You know, right now they've already brought them in with giving us high expectations for them. Like they want to legitimately take over NXT pretty much. So what better way to get them all the momentum going than winning a War Games match against two of the strongest factions in the company right now, with Sanity as NXT Tag Champions and Authors of Pain as well, who are just dominating as heck, even including with Roderick Strong, who's been a great upcoming talent who's really blossomed out this year as well. So yes, this is Undisputed Era's match to win right here.
Yeah, definitely. It could happen. Roddy betraying the Undisputed Era, not the Undisputed Era, joining the Undisputed Era and betraying AOP and helping Undisputed Era get that win. It's, you know, you do have to remember that Roddy threw the wristband at him and beat him up. That set up this whole War Games match like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But yeah, I agree with you. It could happen. I'm not sure if it will. Maybe they'll keep Roderick Strong face, because a Roderick Strong Adam Cole feud, they had a good match on NXT for what it was, but I mean, a major feud going into TakeOver would be awesome. And I said this, when Roderick Strong wins the championship, it's going to be awesome. The crowd's going to bless him with "You deserve it" chants and whatnot. And imagine if like he wins it against whoever it is. Oh, hey, imagine if it's Adam Cole he ends up knocking off. Like, look at that. Yes. It could happen. You never know. But as far as the prediction is concerned, I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era like you, because I don't see any other reason why Sanity or AOP and Roddy should win this match. They don't really have much to gain. They've already established themselves. It's Undisputed Era that's looking to make an impact and shock the system.
Oh, yes, and take over legitimately.
Oh, yeah, a legit takeover at NXT TakeOver, straight up.
And Seth Rollins said at San Antonio, "Show is called TakeOver, right?"
Yes. Yeah, I love when you get into that voice, man, when you do your impersonations. And I meant to tell you this, because this was back at No Mercy. I love how you did that voice when you did your Joe Pesci impersonation, because I asked you about Home Alone, remember?
Oh, yes. You know me, and I'll snap off your cojones and boil them in motor oil.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, the show's called TakeOver, right? That was
so get awesome. Your ass out here. I know you're here, Triple H.
That was so awesome when he did that. That was awesome.
Yeah, a show that that was a good show, but it wasn't like the strongest takeover we'd seen. But
no, yeah, I'd have to say that was the weakest takeover I've seen recently. Still a good show, but just it wasn't the strongest. I don't know what it was about that night that made that show just not as strong as it was, but it was a lot better than the Royal Rumble. That was for sure. The whole pay-per-view.
Definitely. I mean, it did. They always tend to throw something as a surprise, and I knew there was. I thought if anything would happen with Rollins and Triple H that weekend, it would happen at the Rumble itself. It was Triple H entering the Rumble, because we already knew that Rollins was out of it. But when he showed up at TakeOver, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is what I'm talking about. Like they actually go outside the box to go as far as that. It makes sense. It doesn't literally have to be on the main roster show. It was literally at NXT, where Triple H is the creator. Yeah, exactly. That was great, and I gotta believe Triple H had pretty much a saying that, like, probably pitched that idea to Seth, like, come to TakeOver and call me out and whatnot. That was great. Triple H just walked out smug, and he called the security. That was great, man. Yes,
that was great.
I love that.
Yep. All right, so Mike, we've pretty much ran down our predictions. Let me go to the live chat real quick, and then I'll ask you if there's anything else you want to say regarding the show or the weekend. These are all comments from John15HD. Thank you for your comments. No Cien coupon or Tien. What's happening, man? Someone's taking.
Where are you, man? Come on.
People are taking your spot. Nah.
Yeah,
but,
lumpy dumper last night.
Oh yeah, lumpy dumper. So okay, you're gonna laugh at this first question he asked me, Mike. He asked me who my profile pick is.
Oh my goodness.
Tainara Conti.
The same reaction she gave when she realized she messed with Nikki Cross.
When you cross the wrong member of Sanity.
Oh.
Okay. He thinks Ciampa's gonna return at TakeOver. He predicts Kassius Ohno will lose. He predicts Aleister Black will win, and he says he's a fan of the Street Profits.
Oh yes, we love the Street Profits.
Love the Street Profits. Yep, love the Street Profits, and yeah. So thank you, John, for those comments. Mike, anything else you want to say about NXT Takeover or the wrestling weekend in general?
Or that it's going to be a fun weekend. Hopefully, Survivor Series, capitalized as well. The long way.
Mike? Mike? Did he get cut off? Oh boy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize for that. I think Mike got cut off or his mic got muted or something. Mike, can you hear me? Mike? Mike? Oh, wow. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. Pretty, it was pretty awkward. I apologize for that. We did lose Mike, it looks like, which really sucks. So with that said, guys, unless Mike manages to get back in here before I close off, I just want to thank you all for watching and listening. I want to thank John HD for joining us in the comments section and live chat. And I want to thank everybody that watches and listens to this after we go off the air. Leave your comments down below as always. Tell us what you thought of tell us what your predictions are for NXT TakeOver War Games. Which matches are you looking forward to the most? What kind of surprises do you think might occur at this event? And just tell me in general tell us in general how much excited you are for this wrestling weekend with NXT TakeOver and Survivor Series. I have Mike's YouTube information down below in the description box. Normally, I would give him, of course, an opportunity to plug his channel and everything, but because of these unforeseen circumstances, I'm gonna, he's unable to. But I do have a link to his channel in my description box. And of course, you can find me here, Robbie1Kenobi on YouTube. And you can find me on Twitter, Robbie1Kenobi, spelled the same way as it is spelled on my YouTube channel. So thank you all for watching and listening. And please continue to support our channels and also the channels of Daniel Geisler and Gene from BSP Wrestling Show, also our fellow Horseman brothers. And we will continue to make great content. And until then, everybody, have a good day, have a good night, and we will catch y'all later. Make sure to look out for my NXT TakeOver War Games review, Mike's NXT TakeOver War Games review, and Daniel's NXT TakeOver War Games review. And I'll also be back later this week for Survivor Series predictions. It'll probably be tomorrow or Saturday, but I'll be back for a short Survivor Series prediction video. Thank you all for watching and listening. This is Robbie1Kenobi signing out. Everybody have a good day, everybody have a good night, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.